Hello, Steve 89, or Trek Boy 89 as I need to keep calling myself, which is what I used to call myself when I used to do Star Trek reviews and stuff on my old channel before it got deleted. Um, I finally watched Patrick Stewart on The View with Whoopi Goldberg. Two clips on The View's channel. I think there might have been a little bit more of the interview, but I was putting it off for about 12 hours. I saw it last night and I didn't want to watch it. I just thought, I'll do everything else. I'll watch that tomorrow. And then I'm like, oh, I'll watch it later in the day. I'll watch it when I'm working out. Oh, and I just kept putting it off. Why did I keep putting it off? Because I think the biggest part of the problem, no, the biggest part of the problem with Picard is Kurtzman. But the second biggest problem, unfortunately, is Patrick Stewart. And that's because he really is not a good judge of talent and writers, and he doesn't really understand what made Picard and Star Trek work. And that may sound like sacrilege, because how dare you say the actor who played Picard not understand? It happens. Actors play roles, and actors are very narcissistic, small-minded, small-world people. It's all about them. And what I knew was going to come out, I knew it was going to be in the interview. I knew it was coming. I'd sort of heard it, and I knew it was coming, and it came about, I think, 4 minutes into the longer video. He said basically we had to change the show. He said Picard's world has changed because Patrick's world has definitely changed, and we are no longer now living in the same kind of society that we were, that we were 18 years ago. And I'm like, so because your world has changed, the future has to change? Because your world is different, our world is different, we have to change Gene Roddenberry's future, Gene Roddenberry's vision, Gene Roddenberry's world he created. It's so small-minded and so just insular and narcissistic, and, well, my world is different, this is how I see the world, so that's how Star Trek should look. I'm so annoyed at him, and I'm so disappointed in him that he didn't pull back and go, oh no, this is not about me. This is about Star Trek. This is about Gene Roddenberry's vision. This is about a vision that hundreds and thousands of people, or millions of people around the world, have loved and gotten hope from. This means something. This is more important than just me wanting to see myself in my own show in this decade of my life, basically. And I love Patrick Stewart. I'd love to say I've met him twice, and I have. And he was really nice. Chatted to him about some stuff. Nice little moment, made him smile and laugh. Felt very special. He's a wonderful person, and he's a great actor. He's a great artist. But that doesn't mean he understands what makes the show works, and can't make a mistake, and can't be lured by ego and narcissism and money and all the things actors are usually attracted to. I'm not acting like he's any different than any other actor that's existed in Hollywood. They're not all like that, but usually to be an actor you have to have that makeup. That's why they're successful. That's why I mean, we can talk about actors all day, but and I studied acting, and I would have liked to have been an actor myself, but I don't have the looks or the talent. Well, maybe the talent, but I don't have the looks. Oh, did I just say talent? I didn't mean like that. I mean, I think I could act. But the amount of effort you'd have to put into making a career, you have to have so much going for you to get ahead of all the other people. I decided it'd just be better to be behind the camera. So I don't want to totally put myself down, but I don't also want to sound like I'm talking about myself like, oh, I could have been. No. But back on to Patrick. I was very disappointed. I knew it was coming. I knew it was going to be the interview. I was like, I don't want to watch it because I don't want to hear him say that, and then I don't want to have to like hate him for a minute and then forgive him because I just don't want to hear it. But yeah, he said it, and I'm like, yeah, this is the problem with the show. The main problem with the show is the idea that they're changing the Federation. They're making the Federation MAGA, basically. They're making it Trump, and you can have Trumps in the Federation that have to be weeded out. That they've always done that in Star Trek, but you can't make the Federation Trump or Brexit. You can't make it. You just can't take today's problems and make Star Trek about that. You can tell today's problems and today's stories in the future in allegory or some way, but you don't disrupt or destroy the foundation or the makeup of the Federation. And it sounds like that's what they're doing. That's the rumor. And what I'm hearing from the very early reviews is that all the rumors are true. And the people I've heard this from are not being especially harsh on the show, so I'm starting to think that they're actually true. So I'm disappointed, upset, annoyed, baffled. Now, the only good thing about this is they made a mess. They can always fix it. They don't have to leave it a mess. They can someone can come in and say, okay, we need to put the Federation back to how it was before, so we can go off with the rest of the series being Star Trek. We had a little bump in the road. We got back on track. We're fine. That can always work in Star Trek. They can fuck it up as much as they want. They can drag it down into the current day politics and trash and rubbish all they want. They can always bring it back up, shine it up, and put it back on, they can do that. So that's all I'm hoping. They can do that with Discovery. They can do that with the JJ films, although they kind of did that at the end of every film. It's like, well, we made a bunch of mistakes, and now we're going to go boldly go like we should have done in the first place, but didn't. Instead, we did a bunch of other crap. But next movie, we'll boldly go. So it's kind of did that at the end of every film, and they left it off on a really big correction at the end of Beyond. And then if they never come back, I'm fine, because it's like 3 times we got the promise of to boldly go, and we didn't get it. So it's like, well, we no longer expect it. We gave up. That's why those films didn't do well. Now, if they delivered in the second film, the first film was setting up. The second film should have been boldly going. And then we're like, oh, we got sidetracked with Khan on Earth, blah, blah, blah. But we were boldly go in the third film. And then the third film, they started to boldly go, and then they got knocked down onto a planet with the ship destroyed. And then at the end of the film, they said, we'll boldly go next time. No, we needed you to boldly go when we came out and paid the money and sat in the seat in the cinema, and you didn't deliver, so we're not coming back again. That's what happened with those films. They could relaunch it, promise to boldly go, people might show up, but considering they just did that and didn't deliver, they might have to wait a few years for people to find the suspension of disbelief or something or whatever. But Picard, they could do the same thing. They can fix it, but it sounds like they have messed it. Now, it's sort of like Section 31. They could have done a Section 31 show, assuming that Section 31 was dismantled within the show and shown to be a mistake. They can always do that story in Star Trek, and they do tend to sort of start off that way, trying to be edgy and bad and attract the general public, and then they go, oh, this is not Star Trek, let's just dismantle that. They've done that a bunch of times with Star Trek. They can do that again. But it looks like that's where we're at. I haven't seen the episode yet. I haven't seen the show yet. But from the people who have seen it and are talking, it does sound like the rumours and I was paying attention to what the creatives and the actors were saying, and they were saying this. They were saying, yes, we have changed Star Trek to reflect today because we think that's important, and totally ignoring what made Star Trek work in the first place, in that it was a future that was better than today, that we could look to look past the crap we're dealing with. And they're saying, no, we need to bring it back into today and make a deal directly with it, and then somehow that will somehow be better. I'm like, no. So hopefully someone will take over. Either the ship will just sink and they'll bring Star Trek back intact, or they will fix this midstream because it's already set up and going. I don't know if they're ever going to do a Pike. I want a Pike series. I don't think Section 31 is ever going to happen. Some of the Kurtzman stuff I don't think is going to happen because he doesn't seem to have the support, and it does seem to be going the way a lot of the people are saying. So, but I'm nearly up to 10 minutes. I did not think this video would go that far. It's just a video about Whoopi Goldberg, because it was great to see Whoopi and Patrick back together. Whoopi and Kirstie Alley are the only Star Trek actors I haven't met yet. And it kills me that they both went to a convention on the 50th anniversary. I was going to go to that convention, and I thought, the only people I haven't met are Whoopi and Kirstie. They won't be there. What's the point in going? And they both showed up. I was like, oh no, I'm never going to get a chance to meet them again. Damn it. So I wish I'd done that. But I do love Whoopi. I'd love to meet her. He invited her on behalf of Kurtzman to be in the second season officially. So they are talking of being renewed for the second season, but they say that all the time with shows now when they want to look. It's a show of confidence to say, "Oh yes, this show is so great. We're doing a second season already," and then half the time they're not, and it doesn't happen. Just like with Beyond. Oh yes, Beyond is so great. We're doing a fourth Star Trek 4 already greenlit. No, didn't happen. It was just just a PR thing. Yeah. So I kind of hope it happens. I'd like to see Whoopi back, but at the same time, I don't know if she'd want to be in that Star Trek because she, as a little black girl watching Uhura on the original Star Trek in the '60s, it gave her hope. It inspired her. That's why she wanted to be on the show. She pretty much said, "Put me on the show." They didn't take her seriously in the first season. The second season, they're like, "Oh shit, she meant it. Okay, bam." So they put her on the show. They built her a set. She was one of the last main characters that Gene Roddenberry created, and she's very proud of that. And she had a great experience on the show, and I'm glad that she's been asked back. She could barely speak. She was just like smiling and trying not to cry, I think, the whole time. It means that much to her, and it means that much to a lot of people. But whether she's gonna be walking into that same universe, I don't know. So we'll see what happens. But it was interesting. I put it off, and now I'm just waiting for the actual show. I'm just sitting here waiting. I don't know when I'm going to see it or how I'm going to see it. If I'm going to wait for Amazon to actually drop it officially, or if it's going to pop up elsewhere. But I don't think there's going to be any real surprises. One thing people were going on about, which I thought was odd, they're talking about they cloned data from a cell. Androids don't have cells. Surely they're talking about Daj, who's apparently a human body with a positronic brain, in which case they'd have to replicate the body by cells, and then, yeah, so, I don't know. You hear things, you never know what's quite right, but it's 12 minutes too long. I've been talking too long. But I could talk about this all day. Oh, God. Let's just, feel free to share, like, comment, let me know what you think. Thanks, bye.